ahead. Hi, my name is Beth Hiley, and I'm here in Essen 2011, and we are doing round 2 of the Whiz Kids editions. So I'm just going to let you guys both introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Brian.
Hi, I'm Eric.
And they have brought us Quarriors in the awesome box of squareness, the tin box of squareness.
Very nice.
Which a lot of people in the States actually are probably excited for once they actually got their hands on this first.
Yes.
And then it made it over to Europe. But we're going to look at this anyway because it's been a big hit this past quarter. And I've owned it for a couple months and actually haven't learned how to play it yet. So
really?
I'm very glad.
Very
Again,
good.
Perfect interviews today for me.
Very good. I love it.
So lay it on me so I can now.
Let me start out with and Eric. Eric's the designer, so he did along with Mike Elliott, and they did a fantastic job. So of course, if I say anything amiss, please correct me. But basically, this is like deck building with dice, and of course there are dice, so there's some luck involved, and we'll kind of talk about at the end some variants you can try. And also, I'd like to do a shout out to all those people who are trying to buy the game and can't find it. We are printing more. We are coming out with more. It isn't on purpose, but it's just been really, really popular. It's funny how many Germans have actually come up and have already have the English set and then buy the German set. And it's actually, we were surprised by how much awareness there already was. So in Quarriors, you start out with, did I cover that well? Good?
Yes, very well.
We have started with 3 basics. They're in every game. You have your basic, we call it quiddity. You can call it mana or Q or quid or resource, but it's quiddity. And quiddity actually means the essence of the thing. And you're using dice to buy dice. How clever, isn't it?
I think it
is
is the
very
essence of awesome.
That's so nice.
In a box of squareness.
In the back, yes, indeed. And at the bottom of each card shows you the 6 sides of the dice so that you don't have to fumble with the dice to figure out what's on each side. And then you have your assistants. Sorry, it's German, but we know what it says.
Right.
And then we have portals, and these are an accelerator that get you through your dice bag, which we'll talk about in a little bit. What you do is you go and get your spell cards, and you shuffle the entire spell deck, and you reveal them. We happen to have pre-shuffled them, and I'll actually put them in cost order so it's a little easier to buy them, like so. And Eric, if you'd find the dice for them. And then we start doing the creatures.
So you brought him in as your dice slave.
My dice couperet, I guess. Would be. Oh, now.
We work for dice.
The one thing is there are 3 copies of every creature, 4 copies of every spell, and those cards are different, but use the same dice. So as you're dealing out a random setup, if the picture matches, this one goes away and you keep dealing.
Okay.
And that basically is millions of different combinations. And I know there's live chat, so it'd be interesting if someone actually did the calculation for me.
That's a challenge.
So I actually know how many combinations there are, but I know there's at least millions of combinations. And then what you do is you find your dice, and there are 5 copies of all the basic ones that you want to put next to the cards. Except the assistants have 2. And all the basic quiddity is in the bag, and you can have some extras there at some time. The goblin here, the ghost here. My favorite die, the primordial ooze.
I too, the frog.
Yeah, some people think it's a lot of fun, and some people go, ooh, it's an ooze. And then we have
He's
the.
a very cute ooze,
I
though,
think
I have to say.
he's actually my avatar on BoardGameGeek. So if you see this, it's actually me. And then we need the wizard.
Wizard is up there.
Sorry, here. And we need the dragon. Now that we are all set to play, and Eric, I was so kind as to put my dice in the bag. This is what you start with. Everyone starts with 8 basic and 4 assistants, and we'll get through what they do. And you shake it up. I like this versus shuffling.
Yes, since that is your deck essentially.
Essentially. And you pull out 3 dice. Would you like to roll them?
Oh, I'd love to.
Excellent.
Not just the host.
That's the best part of the game.
Now you count them up.
All
Wow,
right.
you rolled really well because
I
that's
did.
only on one of 6 sides.
I did. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Now you rolled really well, so maybe you'll want to buy the dragon.
Sure, I'd love to buy the dragon.
There you go, and then they all go to your use pile. Eric? And you pass the turn. This game is 2 to 4 players, 2, 3, or 4. And actually, Eric, can you lean over and get the glory tracker board? We forgot to bring over the scoreboard. A little behind the scenes. And there's little score markers that match your bag. And as you go up, you need to score 12 glory, 15 or 20, depending on the number of players. The cost for the cards is in the upper left-hand corner. the amount of glory you get when a creature scores in the upper right-hand corner. And the way you score glory is fielding a creature, having it survive, and if it survives, you score the glory that's in the upper right-hand corner. And again, that is changing every game and every card. And there's 3 creatures and 2 spell types we don't even have out here.
Right on. So.
That's the reroll symbol on the assistant, so he gets to reroll that and 1 other die.
So
you never want to reroll a 2.
Right.
He got it. So.
All right. Not quite as good as you, but
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's all pretty good. A wizard
or
a victory spell.
Now, of course, I'm partial to the frog, so I'm going to grab the frog.
Very good. And then you pull up the next 6 and roll them.
All right.
One of the things is when you, if you,
Go ahead.
Because it's coming up right here.
All right. Well, there we go. Well, I'm going to re-roll.
Any die, and that's there you go.
All right.
So we're going to talk about what a creature is now that we have one. In the upper left-hand corner of the die is how much it costs of quiddity to power it and actually summon it. In the upper right-hand corner is its attack. In the lower right-hand corner is its defense. In the lower left-hand corner, there's occasionally a burst symbol. That's extra special. You get to look at the card, and in this case, if you rolled the burst on the goblin, it pays for itself. It gives you the quiddity in order to field it, so you don't have to spend the quiddity on it. Others have things like +1 defense, draw and reroll additional die, and each card, again, being different, has a lot of different variants between each game.
Right.
So, why don't you field that for 1?
All right.
And then you get to buy something for 4.
Oh, which I think I will buy a portal.
Excellent.
We haven't had that yet.
Especially since you have the dragon, it'd be good to be able to get the dragon out as fast as you can. And then this goes to the use pile. Eric? You're actually going to know how to play at the end of this.
I know. This is actually a game you learn by doing.
So 2 rerolls. I'm definitely going to try. I'm going to try for reroll this because I think I want to.
Yep. Try and kill her.
So I'm going to reroll all this.
Yep. You don't have to do them all at once, but he's being fast.
Oh.
Now this happened.
Nice.
So one of the key features of Quarriors is you do have to choose whether you want to summon your creatures. You don't have to. You can choose whether to summon them or use your same quiddity to pay for something else. I'm going to summon all 3 of them because I conveniently have 3. So my 3 guys are fielded. 1, 2, 3.
And that deals how much damage, Eric?
And we're going to deal, so I pull up how much damage I deal, 1 each, so we're going to do 3 damage to your side.
And you have a 2 defense.
So I do not survive.
You do not survive. It is your turn, your bag is empty.
Yes.
So you roll all these dice.
And I don't score points on my monster because it didn't survive.
Correct, and I didn't mean roll all the dice. You put all your dice in the bag, and you draw 6 again. Shuffle them, nice. They're already randomized.
I know, that's just very satisfying.
It is, It's good.
All right.
Roll it up. You get to buy something.
That's a quiddity. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We will go with Wizard.
And your other good, and there's other good choices, but the victory spell was also pretty cool, but that's a very good choice. Eric?
So at the beginning of my turn, all 3 of my guys survived, for you didn't kill them, so they're going to score 1 each.
Glory is in the upper right-hand corner, 1 each. You're the red bag, 1, 2, 3, and the last key rule is he gets to throw dice back into the middle. We call that calling. So he gets to choose which dice out of his use pile go in, and so he's focusing his deck on his good dice.
So I'm actually only going to get rid of 2 because I want some quiddity.
And so they go back into the middle.
And they go.
So it's the equivalent of
removing cards from your deck.
Yep. So you cycle through it faster.
Yes, every time you score a creature, you call once. Now he's going to pull out 6 creatures.
And you got your
And that's my personal victory condition.
Nice, well done.
So I got an interesting choice to make. I got 3 quiddity worth of creatures I can field. Now the issue is I won't be able to buy much if I spend it. I'll only be able to get a scavenging goblin, which not bad.
Not bad for the cost.
However, there are no 3s.
He's designing. He's thinking as he.
So I'm actually not going to summon this guy.
Okay.
I'm going to summon him. I'm going to spend 3 on a life cantrip.
There you go.
As a spell.
Now the funny thing is he had to spend 2 to make this a 1/1 because it's equal to the number of creatures in all ready areas. So unless you put creatures in your ready area, it's currently a 1/1. But in order to kill him, you'd have to summon creatures.
Right. So it gets more powerful.
Your assistants are not going to be able to kill him.
So he's a lot more powerful in a 4-player game than in a 2-player game.
All right. Well, I think I'll do one more roll.
Why don't we do one more?
Spells are different.
So 1, 2, because I got my
There
try.
you go, let's see if you can get it. And that's where the assistance reroll can be handy. They can sometimes increase. Ah, you got him.
I did get my
He's a level 3, and he has a double burst, which means if you field him, Quake Dragon gains +2 defense, and you earn +2 glory when it scores. So if you can get him across the table, it's worth 6.
Ha.
But there's spells and other things that can counter that.
Well, I have the quiddity to put him into action, which why not? But I think I will pass on maybe doing that guy because...
Well, you're going to kill him anyway with the dragon.
Anyway, but that's why make you feel bad.
And basically, you continue this way until someone reaches their glory point potential. Now, as you go through this, you're going to have a lot of different setups. You might have games that have a lot of low creatures versus high creatures. There's a bunch of dice we didn't even use up here because they didn't get fielded when we flipped over the card. Additionally, if you want to up the strategy level, what you can do is 2 buys instead of 1, but that adds a lot of decision making because buying 2 2s instead of a 4 or maybe buying a 3 spell makes a lot of choices, and that slows the game down, so we recommend it after 10 or maybe 15 plays. In an hour, you're probably playing 3 times. It's a very fast, fun game, and it's light and fun, and kids and families, and everybody loves it.
In a box.
In a box.
One thing we didn't mention is that spells do work differently from creatures. They don't get fielded and attack and defend. They just have, if you roll their spell side, you can keep it off.
Some are immediate.
Some are immediate.
Some stay until you need it.
Right.
And then some are attached.
Right on.
Yep.
You can cast it when you want.
All right. Well, thank you both.
Thank you.
For stopping by and showing us Quarriors. And I know, just really quickly, there's no difference between the German edition aside from the language.
The dice are exactly the same, the rules are exactly the same, but the cards are, of course, important.
Yes. And as I'm getting a hint
we provided promos to BoardGameGeek for free because there was so much demand originally that we couldn't keep up, and there was so much need for it. So we gave BoardGameGeek a free set of a bunch of promos, and I don't know how to get them, but go to BoardGameGeek.
The BoardGameGeek has a store, which the link is right on the front page for most people there, and it has actually all the promos for the various games that we cover. So, and a few little other BoardGameGeek merchandise items. So.
Excellent.
All right, well, thank you both.
Thank you.
Rest your voice again.
Will do.
And I hope you enjoyed the last little bit of the convention.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.